Hey, my name's Tiphanie, and I want to talk about feelings. My feelings, people's feelings, which is a very weird and uncomfortable thing for me to talk about. But I think from my experience, from my personal experience, and from other people that I know closely, sometimes we become comfortable with turning off our feelings, especially when we feel things really, really deeply. So I want to talk about that. I think it's really important to be mindful of the things that we're digesting and absorbing, especially everyday things, stuff that maybe we don't always consider or think about. So, for example, I stopped using social media for probably a few months, and so I wasn't watching TV or anything like that, so I had no idea what was going on. I couldn't even tell you what shows were out or movies or anything like that. So I decided to use my news app to make sure I was still kind of in the loop of what was going on around me. And so I was constantly getting news notifications, and it seemed like a pretty harmless idea at the time, but in retrospect it was too much connection. So I remember there was one night that I was reading an article about animals that most people don't know are extinct or something, and I was crying my eyes out and I couldn't go to sleep. And this wasn't that long ago, but it could be something as small as that. I guess it was big for me, but music or the news is always on at my house, so even though it's background noise, I could still be digesting all of that information, and most of it's kind of negative. So I had to completely unplug, as well as get back in touch with my emotions. And if you're one of those people, and you might not even know, because a lot of people are kind of walking around on autopilot, or they found a way to numb out. It could be alcohol, it could be drugs, which is kind of like a very typical reason, or I guess typical manifestation of ignoring your feelings. Or it could be you work a lot, or you buy a lot of stuff and you just don't sit down and think about why you need to buy all these things, or why just sitting down asking what's going on. So I had to unplug. And have another example. This is just an intrusive form of empathizing. So I was having sushi with a friend, and we had split a bottle of wine, and we also got another bottle of wine. And this guy that I recognized from driving around in that area before was walking. It was late at night. He was walking with this strange man very quickly. So all these ideas started popping in my head. And I mean, my friends were preoccupied because, you know, we were having a good time, and we have friends that worked at the sushi place. So they were preoccupied, and I was zoned in on this person. And I was like, is he going to get drugs? Is he safe? Should I go stop him? What's going on? It's just too much. It's too much. There has to be some kind of balance. And I think in that scenario, I was able to snap out of it because I realized how lucky I was to be in this viewpoint, in this perspective, and not the other way around. Which, I mean, he wasn't even aware that I was staring at him and worrying about him, but mindfulness. That's really the overarching theme. And for a while, there was like this sort of weighing, balancing act that I had to do, where when I was younger, like around high school, middle school, you know, when the hormones are brewing, I was just so raw with emotions. And even thinking back, I kind of cringe because I disassociated myself with that person that I was, and then the adverse effect was me just kind of ignoring all of my emotions, which sucks. And I think a lot of people do that, guys, girls, like everyone. And I like to think of some might say that whenever they're in a dark place, it feels kind of like a hole, or they might use void as a way to describe how they're feeling. But I think of it as more of a tunnel. So you're going through a tunnel, and there's no lights, you can't see anything in there. So it's dark initially. You don't know how long this tunnel is going to be, or the experience. But there's a beginning and an end to a tunnel. So that's, I think, how emotions should be dealt with. You know, you just let them come in and experience them. If it lasts longer than like a week, I think it is something that needs to be professionally handled, which is also fine. And I've done that, and therapy is amazing. So however you want to open up, because ultimately that's the goal here, is to be more open and still have healthy boundaries set, to where instead of falling into the depths of your emotions and worrying about, you know, this homeless man or these animals that are extinct and whatever else that you could be absorbing, because we absorb waves, frequencies, like music, sounds, just everything. Like I'm sitting I'm in this tree, and I'm pretty sure I'm absorbing whatever this tree is giving off, which I feel like is good things. But it's important to protect yourself, but don't hide or put up a wall, because a wall lets out negative people, lets out people that will hurt you, but it can also let out the good stuff too. And that's the same with numbing out your feelings. That means no good ones either, as well as no bad feelings. So I don't know if that is resonating with anyone, but I felt the need to talk about this. Originally, I was going to start making videos of just me hooping, but I've been so moved to talk about this and a couple other things too. And a friend of mine posted a video, and it was a beautiful video, and I couldn't help myself, so I came out here and it felt right. I hope you'll have a beautiful day, and if you need anyone to talk to, message me, or if you have anything else you want me to talk about, definitely let me know. But yeah, have a beautiful day.